Look, every time I talk about Silksong in one way or another, the story structure gets brought up, whether it be in comments or like when I'm talking about it on streams. We always end up talking about the story structure. How will Silksong be different? Will it be too similar to Hollow Knight? I mean, and besides what the release date is, like, this seems to be like the $1 million question people keep asking about the game itself. And before we get on with the video too, well, let me just say welcome and thank you all for watching, and like and subscribe if you can, and I appreciate you all for being here. But also I want to mention the fact that we've had like the weird date change. There was like it's saying December 30th, 9,998, like that was weird. But now it's down to 2028, which is like, I don't know. Leth said that they're too busy for riddles and stuff like that. Clearly they're in the end game, they're in the crunch time, and so he said that they're too busy for riddles and stuff like that. But is there gonna be some weird little stuff like are these numbers gonna lead to anything? I doubt it, but it's something to keep our eye on, because that seems weird. Why would it change to 9998 and then to 2028? Weird. I don't know. That doesn't matter per se. Let's get back to the story though. Why are people so worried about Silksong and its story? I feel like it's the similarities that we've seen so far. Obviously there's going to be so many things different about Silksong, but there are these things that are like oddly familiar to us. And the biggest one I think is Lace. I think Lace is such a cool character, and we're all very excited for Lace fights and all that. But the way she mirrors Hornet, I think, is having some people a little, I don't want to say worried or concerned, but it's just familiar. That's really what it is. And then you have things like, there being kind of a soul replacement with Silk, even though they're going to be very different. And then you have like something that appears, it seems like the Silk might have some sort of infection with it. I don't know. We still are waiting to see how that plays out. So instantly off the bat, you could think that, oh wow, this is going to be exactly like Hollow Knight. It has, this other main character that you're going to fight twice. She, is going to be kind of against you, but maybe kind of on your side too, kind of like how Hornet was. And then plus the infection, it seems like it might kind of lead up to the same thing. But there's also going to be a ton of differences in this game. There are things like, even going in with the Silk, there's like the death, like death is going to be a little bit differently. And I think that might have some sort of effect on the story per se. Like, instead of having like the soul that you have to go, or like, the soul that you had to, like the shade that you had to go back and get to get your money and stuff like that. This is going to be like, it's going to be like a Silk cocoon, and you're going to have more of an option to go back. Like it's not going to be as detrimental. And I don't know how that's going to affect the story, but I feel like it might in some capacity. Just not being a shade being has to kind of like have a bigger effect on it, because it seems like the shade was a huge part of Hollow Knight and how you end up defeating the infection and stuff like that. So right off the bat, I think that shows that like it's gonna be different. I also think that dialogue has a potential to really separate this game story-wise, because there is multiple endings in Hollow Knight, but the main character doesn't talk. Like I wonder if with Hornet there's gonna be ways that the story just is different based on, and not like, there's not gonna be like dialogue choices obviously, but like maybe it's just like, there's gonna be certain dialogue that will probably be unlocked if you do something, but you may not ever get that dialogue if you don't go out and do this little side thing. So that could have a huge effect on the overarching narrative, and just, for the multiple ending aspect of it. And the last point that I want to get to is, Silksong was supposed to be a DLC. There's a lot of content from Hollow Knight that was cut out. And maybe not a lot, but there's stuff that was cut out because they knew they were going to move forward with this Hornet storyline. Whether that, whatever that storyline would have been in Hollow Nest, it would have been different than Hollow Knight. And I'm sure that that story structure has followed through into Farland. When Hornet was originally supposed to be in Hollow Nest, like there had to have been something bigger that she was doing. It must have dealt with some of that stuff that ended up being cut. And I don't think that they just like cut all that when they decided to make a new game, or, you know, as it got bigger. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know when the switch was from, oh, let's take Hornet out of Hollow Nest and put her in a new kingdom. That could have changed everything, but you would think that maybe they would have a story kind of lined up already at that point when it was supposed to be all DLC, and that them adding onto it has just made it grow exponentially. And, you know, if they're doing DLC, like, or whenever it was supposed to be a DLC, I just really can't imagine them making it exactly like Hollow Knight as a DLC. You know, that just wouldn't make sense to me. So, you know, I know that we have this conversation a lot, like, oh, you know, it might be similar, you know, and I know that, like, even if we get like another Hollow Knight game that's just a different location, that's just a different movement, you know, but it's all the exact same thing, I think the community will still be very, very happy. Like, Hollow Knight is a masterpiece already. So if you give us like another thing that's just a whole different location, but it's got the same stuff that we know and love, like, it's basically going to be a masterpiece. Even though we've created all this hype and we expect it to be better and better and better, you know, like, it's still going to be a masterpiece, even if they do the bare minimum, you know, just because we love Hollow Knight so much. But I don't think that there's a scenario out there where we end this game and we're like, oh man, that felt the exact same thing. Like, they're too good of storytellers, you know, even based off the first game, to just repeat themselves like that. So, like, I really don't think this should be a worry of ours at all. And I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like this seems to be the most common thing that is brought up under these videos. You know, just besides people, you know, wanting to date and whatnot. But what do you guys think? Are you guys worried about the story? Are you guys like confident that Team Cherry is going to surprise us? Like, I really do think that there's going to be moments in this game where it's like we're going to think that, oh wow, this is just like Hollow Knight, and then it's going to flip the whole game on our head. And yeah, I don't think we have much to worry about with Silksong's story. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day. Once again, like and subscribe if you can. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you all have a great day. See ya.